while and on without a clue, without a sign, without grasping it. The real question to be asked: where have I been? I'm a sharpshooter at Ghost Masquerade, hiding both face and mind, all free for you to draw. I'm a sharpshooter. What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark. Moments of calm, nothing left to be found. A mirror right in front of me, that's where I found an empty glass.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to Ace Attorney Miles Edgeworth Investigations. I literally just ate. I made sure to eat a late lunch. That way I would, hopefully, I should be able, I won't be hungry while we're playing the game, which happened last time, and that wasn't great. So hopefully it won't happen today. But yeah, I mean, we didn't get a chance to play that much yesterday, but the main things, the main differences that I've sort of seen. Also, that microphone needs to be closer. Hold on. The main differences that I've sort of seen are just the ability to move around in, an actual physical environment using sprites as opposed to just clicking your way everywhere. That's very cool. The logic system is very cool, and the incorporation of actual testimony and that sort of stuff into the actual proper investigations is a very good way of maintaining the same sort of standard gameplay loop of the Ace Attorney games, while also, not having any trial sections, which was, I think, what I was really worried coming into the game. I was worried how they were going to handle the lack of, hold on. I need to remember to get rid of the last sub thing, since it's broken and doesn't actually work. There we go. Yeah, let's just get into it. Yeah, as I was saying, the getting rid of the trials, I think, was the only thing I wasn't entirely sure on with regards to this game, but so far, I think what they've done with it in order to try to, keep the same gameplay that you would have in the trial, but just apply it to the actual, investigation, I think is very well done. So, yeah, I don't have any complaints. Let's get right to it. Also, as you might know, I've been having a lot of audio issues lately. We ended up having to delay the first stream of this game because of audio issues. We had to cancel the Getting Over It stream because of audio issues. Which, by the way, if you're wondering what happened, the Getting Over It stream, audio issues, and that one's gonna be a very long stream because I want to try to finish the game. So that one's I definitely need to stream Getting Over It during a weekend, but this next weekend I'm gonna be out of town, so I can't do that. So it'll probably be the weekend after, but we'll have to see. That's a bit too far in advance for me to, make any concrete plans. But yeah, I've been just dealing with audio issues all week, basically. And I think they're fixed now, but it's like, okay, it's the type of fixed that terrifies me as a computer science student. Because you ever like code a program, like if you've done computer science, and like there's a bug, right? And now the best thing that can happen when you try to fix a bug is you fix the bug and that's that. Bug's gone. That's perfect. Now, what's not as good is if you fix the bug, but fixing the bug creates a different bug, right? The worst thing is when you run your program, there's a bug, then you run it and then you start running it a bunch of times to try to figure out what the, what the bug is and how you can fix it, and then all of a sudden at one point it just starts working and you never see the bug again because you know that it could come back at any moment and you have no idea how to fix it. You have no idea how to spot it. It could come back at any moment. That is how this feels like, because the audio's working. You can hear the audio. It's working. But how long will it cut off? As far as I know, it could, the audio could cut off in the middle of a stream, and I have no way of knowing. And no way of fixing it, furthermore, even if I did notice. So, terrifying. Truly terrifying. But hopefully we won't have issues in the future. But the reason I was just saying that is if there's an issue with the audio levels, something is too loud, something is too quiet. Obviously, I was tinkering with the audio settings quite a bit trying to get this thing working. So if like my voice is too quiet or the game is too loud or vice versa, make sure to let me know in the chat. Or if you're watching this, or if you're watching the VOD, in the comments, and I'll, try to fix it as soon as I can. But yeah, let's get started. Oh, not that. Actually, yeah, let's just quickly go through our evidence. Just make sure we're remember everything that happened. Right, Buddy Faith, he was the victim. Okay, Buddy Faith, yeah, Gumshoe. Jacques is probably the killer. I'm pretty sure he's the killer. But he accused Gumshoe, and then he accused Maggie. Crime scene. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. Victim believed to be only one shot fired, but there were 2 shots fired in the room, right? It was only in their office. One of them. Prints were wiped. Stolen file. Name written in blood. Master key. Open every office door. Stolen from the security office. Okay. So far, what I'm gathering is, right. Buddy Faith steals Maggie's master key and breaks into my office. The exact motive for this, I can't ascertain, but I do know that he ended up probably ruffling through my files and possibly trying to open up the safe. After ruffling through the files, he puts them back in the incorrect order because he's not... Well, no, he couldn't have touched the safe. Okay. Actually, no. I'm pretty sure Jacques told Buddy about the safe, so he could have touched the safe. We'll see. Yeah, so possibly touched the safe, but yeah, he takes all the files out, rummages through them, finds something, and then puts them back, but he puts them back in the wrong order because he's not familiar with the numbering system that we use here. Later, Jacques Portman walks into the room, which had been previously unlocked by Buddy. He then presumably shoots Buddy with either Buddy's own revolver or with a second revolver, because we know that there were 2 shots fired, right? So we don't know if it was Buddy's revolver or something else, but presumably Jacques ends up shooting Buddy. At that point, Jacques begins tearing apart the crime scene to try to... I assume also he was looking for something? So he again throws all the files on the floor, but doesn't have time to clean them up when Edgeworth, walks in. And at that point, Jacques from the shadows fires a warning shot with a different gun from the one that was used to kill Buddy. Yeah, I think the biggest issue here is, like, first of all, why did Buddy break into my office to try to, steal some files? And second of all, where did the second gun go? Although I suppose it is entirely possible for Jacques to have simply reloaded the gun. That's also a possibility. Secret safe. Key was stolen, yeah. And yeah, then then a stolen file, which I'm guessing Jacques is the one that took this one, but as for why the name Gumshoe is written there, I'm not entirely sure. Actually, let's see. Ooh, fancy. I love how the 3D models look so much better than everything else in the game. This badge design is set to reflect the relentlessness and discipline of law enforcement. It comes from the authority vested in us as strict protectors of the law and executors of sentences. Much like harsh winter frost and blazing summer days. To wear it is to identify oneself as a prosecutor, but I have no interest in doing so. This game should take place... I believe this game takes place... Actually, I don't fully remember when this game takes place. Each prosecutor's badge is engraved with the number of its owner in the back. Numbers. As if we're not human on the inside like everyone else. Okay, so that just lets us see the crime scene. But yeah, so pursuit shot in the gut, grabbed his, grabbed himself in the stomach, then fell down, and then later they tried to use the body to cover up the missing file. Okay. The revolver, from which only one shot was fired. If only we had if we could dust for fingerprints, that'd be helpful. Safe has no fingerprints. A stolen file. It definitely looks like it says Gumshoe. And yeah, assuming Buddy was sitting up against the files, right? If he wrote the name, it would indeed end up like that, right? Going, the wrong way and also flipped upside down just due to the way that he's writing. So that makes sense. And that certainly indicates that, because, like, if this was just Jacques just, like, trying to plant a fake name somewhere, I suppose it's possible he could have, if Jacques did it, I mean, I guess he could have maybe been smart enough to do it the right way, but I think most people wouldn't think of that, unless they played Danganronpa, and would have just written it, right way up, left to right, as opposed to upside down, right to left. Which I think to me means that it's very likely that Buddy did in fact write that name. And in fact, the file, 0H was there at the time. So that begs the question, why did the killer, Jacques, steal that file? Was that the file he was looking for, or was there another reason? Furthermore, why did Buddy write Gumshoe's name? Because we know Gumshoe's not the killer, and Buddy, being a detective, should know that if he writes someone's name with his own blood, that person, that's basically saying this person did it, So I wonder, why did Buddy write Gumshoe's name? And why did the killer steal one of the files? Unless Buddy didn't actually write Gumshoe, and the missing file makes it look like it's Gumshoe, but it's actually something else. But I don't know what could it possibly be? Because that's definitely G. There's definitely a G and a U. And then that's definitely an M, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we have enough information right now to truly piece together what happened. Alright, let's continue. March 14, 4:18 a.m., Prosecutor's Building, 12th floor hallway. Yeah, what is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. Yeah, I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. Yeah, true. So in, what now? Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Yeah, you really are unlucky. Do not despair, Miss Bird. I can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things you should be looking into anyways. Yeah, really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is a perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Okay, so I guess we're gonna try to figure out how they actually got into the room. Although, we do know... let me get myself some water. We do know that the master key was stolen. This is a fact confirmed by Bird. So, you know, obviously my thoughts are that Buddy or Jacques, one of the two, probably Buddy, stole the key to get into my office. So, and then Jacques returned it after the murder. That's, I think, what I'm going with right now. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah, let's just let's see what we can figure out. There he's here. He's here! Oh no! Oh no! What do you have to say, partner? Partner? Yeah, yes, sir. Anything of interest? Detective Gumshoe, you look rather intrigued by something. Here to share? Oh, it's nothing, but I noticed Mr. Portman call his partner Jim. A detective in the Sunday night drama. All my cops is named Jim too. I bet one of them is a big fan of the show. You seem to know a little something about it yourself. I take it you watch it too? Yeah, of course. A tight bond friendship between a prosecutor and the detective is great, sir. Yeah, but it's nothing compared to the super strong friendship we have. Ho ho ho! Friendship? Detective, I think you're mistaking it with Penny. No! Angie, you can't do him dirty like that. Hey, Chattercopy, how's it going? Yeah, I'm really enjoying the game so far. Obviously, we're not that far into it. Hey, how can you say that, sir? After all we've been through, too. You made Gumshoe cry. Oh shit. Hold on, let me screenshot that. That's a funny face. I need to make that an emote on the server. Gumshoe's so pure. About Miss Bird. No way she's the killer. Please don't tell me you buy into that accusation, sir. Rest assured, I think she's innocent. However, I need to ask her a few things regarding her security guard position. Yeah, well, if you're only asking, it's okay. Just stand next to her and then touch the talk button. and you two can talk about whatever topic you pick. And when you want to ask her about evidence, all you have to do is present it. After you choose what to show her, touch present again, and off you two go. I recommend showing different people different things. You'll be surprised by what they say.
Thank you for the explanation. Though I don't recall asking for one.
Oh, you know me, sir. You can show me evidence in the same way too.
I do believe it's time to get down to business and ask some questions of Miss Bird.
Ignored again. Oh.
I have anything to say about any of these?
Your victim's gun, same model as mine.
A tool used to protect lives. And one that can also take lives away. Those to take again and hit. Okay, we've already seen this one, I believe. Secret safe.
I had no idea you had one of those things. I mean, I thought I knew everything there's to know about you, Mr. Edgeworth. And I feel like I've been caught a glimpse of the inside of Miles Edgeworth.
That's great, you don't know about me.
Okay, stolen file.
No.
Do you plan on playing the translation of the sequel, or are you gonna wait for the official one? At this point, I don't think it's ever releasing internationally. So yes, I'll definitely be playing the fan translation.
Eventually.
What do we have right now? Files in disarray. Culprit rearranged my files twice, one before and once after the murder. Why? Good question. Because, I mean, the thing that has to be there is just that two different people rummaged through the files. You know? One person rummaged through them before the murder, one person rummaged through them after the murder. Which seems very clear to me that what's actually happening here is that the victim was the one who rummaged through them the first time, and then the killer is the one that did it the second time. So that makes sense. Another handgun, other than the victim's gun that I found, could there be another gun in play here? Yes, and the question is, does the killer still have it with them, or did they dispose it somewhere? Because if so, we might be able to find it, which would be very nice. Oh, wrong button. See the P3 remake announcement? Oh, it looks so good. It looks so fucking good. And I was a bit concerned when I heard they were going to be using new voices, but they all sound basically exactly like their original voices, especially Junpei and Mitsuru. You can't even tell that they're a different voice. Yukari is very slightly different. Fuka is different, but in a good way, because Fuka's original voice is fucking terrible. The enemy! And then, obviously, Protag is different. The only one I didn't really like is the new Akihiko voice. This is no, I think the new Fuka VA is a massive improvement over the enemy because the old one is so fucking bad. Yeah, the only I'm pretty much neutral on all the other voices because either they're exactly the same, very slightly different, or just as good. I think Fuka's is better. The only one I don't like is Akihiko's. I just think Liam O'Brien's is just so fucking iconic. I've been waiting for this. Waiting is part of my strategy. Alright. Well, this is enough talk about Persona. This is it's turning.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny.
What is this?
It's the file! Isn't that the missing O series?
Hey, isn't that the missing O series file, sir?
No doubt about it. The bloody letters make it clear as day. There seems to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind.
Yeah, so, what are these, O files about, sir? I guess they got something worth stealing in them, huh?
Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine.
Eh?
They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I had my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were.
Yeah, that means the thief must have wanted the file for a specific reason, right?
It would seem so.
OST is really good, yeah.
Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing.
And I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. It's always an old case from like 10 years ago. God damn it. Every single time.
Into the case 10 years ago, predecessor.
No, that definitely looks like it does spell out gumshoe, so... Why did Buddy write gumshoe on the files? But yeah, I guess finally we know what the killer was looking for. Files for a specific... Oh my god. Files for a... I'll clean that up later. Files for a specific case. Okay. Interesting. Nope. I didn't mean to do that. You are of zero use to me. Hi, Firewall, how's it going? So you're going to the Shadow Realm, Jackson? Okay. Can't go this way. Okay, there's a random basketball. I'm guessing this is Jacques' office then.
What is a basketball doing here?
Hey, it's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis.
And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. What is a basketball hoop doing here?
And this used to be just outside, next to the building a long time ago.
So when and why was it moved indoors?
I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently.
Drag it?
I heard that it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so a poor guy had to bring it in himself.
All the way up to the 12th floor?
Jesus Christ.
This office. Huh. 1203, 1203. Hey Mackie, whose room is this again?
It's Mr. Portsman, sir.
So he's my new neighbor. I see. I suppose he moved in while I was overseas.
Have you been bim?
Is everything alright?
Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 154 pounds.
Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway in the room.
Oh, everything's okay, sir. Word of advice, stay focused. You may start to lose even...
A word of advice, stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. Winston?
Looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth.
To be sure. A murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly. Post haste.
Sounds like a messy case you've got your hands on. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open.
How gracious. I'll keep your offer in mind. Who's this guy again?
Oh no, he doesn't even remember Winston.
In the Japanese version of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Shadow Realm is just death. Yeah, the Shadow Realm is literally just, it was literally just made to, like, censor the fucking show. It's very funny. But it's actually just, I feel like it's actually kind of cooler, you know? This is Yugi and Adam.
I was wondering if I may speak to you for a bit concerning the case.
I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth.
I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her through the present button.
Now let's just ask questions first.
Have you ever met the victim before?
Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir.
Hey, sounds like fun! Just once I'd have loved to play with him.
It does sound fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir.
Yeah, on second thought, I don't think I have fit in all of that well with him. Yeah, he sounds like a dick.
Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you are an acquaintance of the detective.
Yeah, she was under my supervision when she was still on force, sir. And one day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit.
But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. So I thought until a few hours ago, right before I was about to clock out for the night.
You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct?
Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building! I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of food, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster, and now I've even managed to be named a criminal just when I become a security guard.
That's a lot to go through in one lifetime.
I know, and just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck.
You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird. Nor do you need to worry about yourself. I'll solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation.
Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can to help.
Alright, let's see what you've got to say.
That's a prosecutor's badge, isn't it? It proves that you're really a prosecutor.
Interesting. Despite all appearances, she seems to know more than Gumshoe.
That's not a high bar to clear.
With that badge, even I could be a professional prosecutor. Sir, may I please try it on just for a little bit?
So that's how that white-haired, masked, coffee-loving vagabond was able to sneak his way into a courtroom four times over. Three times over, despite not actually being a fucking prosecutor. He was a fucking defense attorney. But I guess he just wears the fucking badge and he just walks to the courtroom. The door's just like, ugh,
Mr. Coffee Man, yes, this is your case, I believe. Here you go, here's all the files. What? Rational arguments, Mr. Wright? That's bullshit. Shut the fuck up. All right, Gato, what do you got to say? Yes,
I got it just about, well, you know, philosophically, it's just, you know, you like coffee and I like coffee, so the killer's gotta be guilty. And the judge is like,
yes, excellent argument, Mr. Gato. You're the greatest prosecutor I've ever seen.
I don't think that would be a very good idea, do you?
I guess not.
On second thought, they're actually on the same level.
They're made for each other.
I'm just a lovely security guard, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to guard it.
Oh my god. They literally are identical to each other.
It's like talking to another gumshoe.
Okay, nothing about the safe. Okay. Just the master key then.
So, when did you discover what that the master key was missing?
By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. But I noticed it was back around 2:30 a.m. It's just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. I'm sure that between those 2 times it was not just gone but stolen, sir.
Okay, 1 a.m., 2:30 a.m. So 1 hour and a half. That's a pretty long time span. Because, yeah, 1 hour and a half, that is certainly enough for one man to rummage through my office, get murdered, and then for the second man to also rummage through my office. More than enough time, I think.
Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place?
It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window.
Anyway, always, you say? Except for this time, correct?
Well, I admit that was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. Left that out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I'd used it that I left it sitting out there on the ledge.
She used the master key. Yeah, what did you use it for? What did you mean by use the master key?
Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right?
What is it?
That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir.
What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly.
So did he pretend to forget his key so that Maggie would use the master key to open the door so that then he could see where she ends up leaving it afterwards so that he could steal it? Gumshoe needs his own game. You can play as the one and only Gumshoe while fighting for instant noodles and ramen. Edgeworth teams ended for being clumsy. It's you have to try to last as long as possible before your salary drops down to 0, and every mistake you make, your salary drops.
It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir.
And that's when you loan the master key to him?
No way! It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone! I walked Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir.
I see.
And then, what happened?
And what happened after that?
Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think.
So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight.
Yeah, talk about suspicious.
I doubt you can say that you'd never left your keys at home, Detective. I think this calls for thorough examination of a sportsman's door.
Indeed.
Although...
So, hold on. So... Wait, but if the master key went missing at 1 a.m., how did she use it at 1:30? What? I guess it's approximately, so maybe it went missing after 1:30? Okay. Examine the door, I guess. Chat quickly became the gumshootier Edgeworth. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I'd love a gumshoe game would be beautiful. Truly. Okay.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Room 1203. I take it this is Mr. Portsman's office.
Yeah, you can't mistake it because of the basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me, Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir.
So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202?
Because of the files from that 10-year-old case that were there that he wanted to get his hands on, right?
I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like his birthday is December 2nd?
Yep, it's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why.
I can think of at least 3. I'm even wasting my time thinking about this. The door is locked tight.
I bet the old credit card trick couldn't work here, eh, Mr. Edgeworth?
This is the office of a high prosecutor, Detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them.
So I guess only a great cat burger can get in. It must be your culprits. Clearly it's Musk the Musk.
Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? That's Mr. Portsman's personal best.
It's Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop.
I can't believe he put something like this in the hallway of the prosecutor's office.
But you know, his axe was pretty useful, sir. I haven't gotten lost trying to get to your office since it's been here.
How long have I had the same office and yet you still managed to get lost? A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood.
Yeah, it's kind of majestic too. Fits real well with the ambiance of the prosecutor's offices. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he worked behind one of these.
Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works.
Yeah, well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne.
Mr. Payne. I suppose custodial work can also be dignified.
Is there anything else for us to see?
I don't think so. Okay. I think Master Key was stolen. Use the Master Key. Yeah, here we go. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story.
What? No way, pal. I mean it, sir.
Oh my god, they really are just the same. Jesus Christ. For your gumshoe voice, I think the accent's perfect. I think it needs to be a little gruffer. I'll try. I don't know if I can do the accent any gruffer.
You said you were locked up in Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time.
Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I totally forgot all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right, it was around the very same time that I realized the master key was missing.
And?
Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir.
I don't know what to say. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Oh my god. Are you sure you're not Gumshoe's, like, secret, like, long-lost twin sister?
You pretended!
Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir.
So in actuality, you never did relock the door then.
Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly.
So what you're saying is we can do a little bit of breaking and entering.
How do you pretend you lock the door? You just do this. There you go. Alright. Let's go then. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Deduce. Oh. This spot's somehow connected to any of the evidence. No, not that. This spot?
Deduce?
There you go, Mr. Portland's office. Miss Bird unlocked the door, but the master key was stolen, so she could not lock up. There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight?
Oh, it's not locked.
Well, yeah, obviously because
Portsman did have his key. He didn't actually lose it. Huh? Oh, you know, you're right.
Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door?
I'm certain of it, sir. I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't.
Which means what, sir?
It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one.
That's actually a good point. If Portsman was trying to break into my room, he could have swapped the nameplates, moved the basketball hoop over, and then tell Maggie that he forgot his key, and then she'd open the door for him. She opened a different door, but how can you prove that?
There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... we need to examine these.
Prints on the master key, prints on the doorknob, prints on the number plate.
The prints on the number plate, they'll tell us all we need to know.
Everything, really? Like what, sir?
Like, well, for example, such as, well, if someone swapped the number plate. Well, we know for sure that Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles.
Wow, well, that was amazing, sir. How did you know?
Is that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, that's it. Now then, we should get back to doing what we need to do, and that is, we need to examine these. Prints on the doorknob? But, of course there's gonna be prints on the doorknob. It's a fucking doorknob. The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything.
Hey, you. Hey, yeah, you, pal. Do us a favor and see if you can lift from this, okay? So, what you find out?
There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, detective. Sir, I found only Mr. Portsmouth's and Mr. Fate's prints on this doorknob.
Ah, okay. Maggie's prints aren't there, so she never opened that door. I'm not entirely sure if you could really get that. Like, a doorknob should have so many fingerprints on it that you shouldn't really be able to tell them apart, technically.
So, only 2 people's prints are found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive.
Huh? I'm lost, sir.
Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on his knob as well. Now then, whose prints should be on this doorknob?
Maggie, since she opened the door, supposedly. Wasn't Maggie wearing gloves? Maybe?
Don't you find that odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent?
I mean,
yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. Okay. What have we here? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny.
you're just gonna say that every time.
What is this?
It looks like a scrap of paper. Hey, I'll get it, sir. It's the, oh, there's something written on it.
Looks like a note from the victim.
I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone. It looks like you're out. I guess I'll catch up to you later. 3 pieces of evidence. Probably regarding that old case, right? Yeah, we don't need the details, Narukami. I wonder if there's any of Edgeworth's fingerprints on Wright's knob, if he can try. No, they don't waste time with hands. No, what you need is to test for DNA samples. Hey, it's for Mr. Portsmouth. Alright, let's take a look. What do we have now?
Miss Bird says she unlocked the door, but her prints were not found on the doorknob. What? Not left by the victim, found under the door. Yes, touch your button for details.
Okay. What have you to say, detective?
Zero, okay. 0. I was wondering about the investigation.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. A real seasoned pro teacher how it's done.
A real seasoned pro. Of instant noodle cuisine, perhaps?
Hey, you know, you can always check out the really important spots in more detail, right?
Yes.
And if the area is too big, you can always use the arrow buttons on the bottom, right? Oh, but don't worry, sir. The arrows only show up when you use them to see more.
I knew that as well.
And when you think there's a contradiction or something unusual, you could try deduction. First, you line up your cursor with a suspicious-looking area, and you touch the deuce and choose your poison. I mean evidence. And when you settle on a piece, you got presented.
I'm pretty sure I already knew that as well, Detective.
Yeah, well, if you can remember all that, welcome to the world of pros. W. Ace Investigator. Class dismissed.
And all I wanted was an update about the investigation.
Yeah, why isn't the game called Ace Investigator, Miles Edgeworth? Right. Being a prosecutor in this universe must be the best career choice you can make. Yeah, basically. Pretty much, yeah. Well, Chief of Police seemed pretty cushy as well.
I've had to open Mr. Portsman's office up for him a number of times before. I've always had the chance to see the inside of his office on numerous occasions too. He's got shelves upon shelves with sports memorabilia, trophies, and awards in it. To the point where it's almost beyond gaudy, sir. But maybe I just feel that way because I'm jealous, since I don't have even a single one.
Hey, don't say that, Maggie. I'll make your special Guard of the Month award just for you.
Thanks for trying, but I already got a mountain of consolation prizes, sir. They're proof of just how unbelievably unlucky my life has been. Plus, getting an award from you just isn't the same as getting a real award, sir. No.
You killed the poor man. We're already investigating one murder. We don't need two.
I don't think there's anything else for us to do here, so let's try heading back into my office, maybe. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny.
That blood.
Minimalistic, classy door made of top-notch wood. It's sturdily made, making it impossible to break by force.
So, it's almost majestic, sir. And I wish I could be as stately as this door.
Only Gumshoe would praise a door as something greater than himself.
Yeah, being
a detective has its own rewards and a certain virtues value. You live up to your full potential, and is a poignant trait that anyone can admire.
I see. So you're saying, sir, me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone.
Right.
Yeah, that long pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir.
Oh. I don't see any signs of forced entry.
Yeah, according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir.
Meaning the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob?
Yeah, apparently, the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wipe, they think.
Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind.
Yes, but as a result, they left too few clues, such as the lack of Maggie's fingerprints anywhere. Oh, not you! Yeah, I think we gotta use logic here. Now you already French on Gumshoe once.
Oh, there's nothing really here for me to logic.
I already talked to everyone about everything.
Payne, any startling insight?
No.
any signs that this has been moved? What about the basketball? And this is just the file. Yeah, I think we need to use a, no, not logic. I think we need to do a, present some evidence somewhere, maybe. Piece of evidence by just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy. I don't see what I can do with that. She unlocked the door, but the prints were not found on the doorknob. I'm actually not entirely sure what I can even do here. We already looked at this. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent.
Yeah, talk about luxury waiting area. These babies are also neat for napping, you know?
You would sleep even out here, detective, in a hallway.
And whatever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. I always end up in the same way, me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful?
Maybe I should give it a try sometimes. To envision myself winning, naturally. That's just the file. Stolen file, but what's it doing under here?
Yeah, why would you steal something and then leave it behind?
Like a thief took only what was needed. Black spot near the basketball hoop? Let's all check it out. I don't see anything. You? Is there anything else I can present to you? What now?
Think Edgeworth never lost his virginity because he never loses? That's not true. What do you mean he never loses? We do know that he loses to right, and only to right. So I'm just gonna leave it there. Another handgun. I don't think those two are connected. Revolver, the safe, stolen file, master key. Yeah, I mean, it has to be a deduction, right?
The door's locked tight. So maybe I think the only thing I haven't looked at is the the number on my door, maybe? 1202. These four numbers on the number plate alone proclaim this to be my office.
Yeah, whoops! These number plates slide out.
Sir?
I have to be able to take the plates off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... I don't see any...
I mean, that's useful information, but... Can't go that way. Have you presented anything so far when you check the doorknob? Like, presented to who? To Gumshoe or Maggie? Yeah, I think I've presented every piece of evidence I have to them, so that shouldn't be it.
They can examine... Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman?
Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match.
Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Oh, I think I'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball. Ho, ho, ho.
That isn't the point you should be focusing on, Detective.
Hey, you're right, sir. You know what I should be focusing on? Man, Mr. Portsman, someone should teach him to clean up his toys after he's done playing.
I think we've reached the end of this conversation. Huh? What's this?
You know what you're looking at, sir?
Oh, how about the game? Yes, that is the baseball hoop has been moved. Okay, that's what we were missing.
That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off.
Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk.
No, it's physically impossible for Jacques Portsman to perform a slam dunk. The position of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I better take note of this.
Okay, that's what we needed. Nice.
Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely.
Eh, how so, sir?
In a variety of different ways, I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case.
You know who the killer is, Mr. Edgeworth?
As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman.
What? Mr. Portsman?
Yeah, I knew it. It's exactly what my logic sisters were telling me to do. I suspect it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being a killer, sir.
Before this big confrontation, we're gonna take a quick break. Cause I'm gonna get snacks, something to drink, and we'll be back in just about 5 minutes, okay? All right, we are back. Let's continue.
I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir.
That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. March 14, 5:12 a.m., High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202.
Mr. Portsman, finished processing the bloody letters, sir.
All right, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We got ya now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Some kind of joke.
That's no joke. We know, Mr. Jack Sportsman, that you were the guilty party in this case. Welcome back, Bim.
You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay if you promise to stay out of our way.
If you intend to hide your crimes under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job, I can see right through that unsightly paper-thing mask you wear upon your cowl.
Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? You're the legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. There was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know.
Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that, too, will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up.
You gonna jump the next case as well, or you're gonna end the stream when the case is done? I think I'll probably start off the next one. This has been a pretty short stream so far.
Well, aren't we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything?
Mr. Portsman's rebuttal.
I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask, do you propose I unlock the door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got to work too. So we're done here.
Sorry, but we're not finished yet.
Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something.
I'll show you what I'm basing my accusations on, with evidence.
Okay.
Rebuttal. Idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind? My accusation is a harebrained idea, is it?
You tell me. I'd say it is after all.
Amount of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Oh, and what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here?
Jim was my partner, so you can say I had motive for killing him.
And that's it. That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain.
But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree?
Might I recommend that you review that, what the word evidence means?
It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer.
Unlocked the door and got in here. Unfortunately, I believe I have already shown how earlier.
These speculations mean nothing. Because I still insist that I could not gain access to your room.
What should I do now? Should I raise an objection?
Not yet.
I need to gather a bit more information.
What's wrong? Tell me all you wanted to do was find fault with my flawless logic.
Feel bad doing this to you, but I got work to do, so we're done here. I don't think so.
Oh? What's that?
Because there's a flaw in your reasoning.
You calling me a liar. So, where's your proof? Saying evidence is everything isn't limited to just the courtroom, you know?
You need not remind me. I'll show you all the evidence you want in time.
Yeah, we're just we're setting the stage first. Press here.
You claim to have had no way to open my door, however, is that really the honest truth?
Alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot.
Very well then, I propose that you use this to open my door. The master key.
Oh, we can actually look at that in 3D.
It's the master key to every office in the building.
Not terribly exciting. Yeah.
I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Wait, hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know.
Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct.
Oh.
That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key.
Take that!
You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes?
Yeah. Kinda forgot my key at home. It happens a bit too often for my taste, you know?
But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it?
What? You have quite the imagination. Why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened? Shall we?
I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir.
See? Miss Bird backs up my story.
Yet what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted?
How do you suppose I did that?
By switching the number plates on our doors, for example?
That's right, they do slide out pretty easily.
Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression. The door she was opening was yours, and not in fact mine. Mr. Portsman used to make me think he was in the room.
The basketball hoop. Never noticed until now how massive Maggie's forehead is? It's pretty big, yeah.
What? The basketball hoop, sir?
That's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor.
Gah!
That's very true, sir. Because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I like to imagine that, like, Edgeworth, they're just standing in front of each other discussing. Meanwhile, Maggie's just, like, running back and forth. I thought the door was... the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's.
There are signs that the hoop had been moved. To sit in front of my office, to be sure.
I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture's a little off the racetrack.
Conjecture's rebuttal.
Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You didn't have a single reason to suspect me.
No, you weren't, because then you would have gotten the note from Buddy.
So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he?
So, hold on. Let me try to figure this out. So, at some point, around midnight, Mr. Portsman swaps the number plates and the basketball hoop, then asked Maggie to open his door, leading to her opening my door, letting him sneak into my office. Maggie then heads back down to the security room and leaves the door out where anyone could steal it. At what? This happens, yeah, at around noon. Not noon, midnight. Then at around 1 a.m., someone steals the master key. Half an hour later, at 1:30, Jacques leaves my room, and Maggie pretends to lock up my room. Maggie leaves, the basketball hoop is moved back, the number plates are swapped again. Now, we walked in on a murder scene. Sometime before the key reappeared, which was 2:30, which means either the murder took place in that hour. Yeah, there's an hour and a half time. No, hour and a half time frame that Portsman was in my room that Maggie knew he was there. Well, thought he was in his room. After that, there was a 1 hour time span during which Jacques was out. Jacques had already left my room and thought it had been locked, but the key was still missing, right? This is the key here. Is the key. Who stole the key? And why? You know?
I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket.
Can't wait for it to be revealed a massive blood stain.
And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears.
My jacket's not dirty. I'll have you know, I just washed it yesterday.
Please calm down. I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here.
Is that what you say to write?
Nonsense, you say?
Yeah, because I'm telling the truth here.
Girl opened my office door. Using the master key, of course.
Sure. You have a problem with that? That is what the master key is for, right?
Perhaps we should place it in an elaborate labyrinth of some sort for people like you. My room the entire time?
You mean this room?
And what were you doing in your office?
I was doing my usual training regimen.
Training regiment? Are you going through your law books from start to finish?
Mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance.
And wow, you must be the buffest prosecutor we have.
With the weakest legal muscles, it would seem.
No! Well, I was about to say Gatto is the buffest prosecutor we've seen, but Gatto was never a prosecutor. He just was a fucking disgraced defense attorney vagabond that just snuck his way into random court cases to try to like get his revenge on Wright and then killed someone.
Just do my usual workouts, though.
Single reason to suspect. I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually.
But none of those would stand up on their own.
And what about all the evidence?
It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence.
He seems to be trembling a little.
Oh, this click.
One more little push. All I have to do is find the flaw in his testimony. Okay. Girl opened my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You have a single reason to suspect me. Gun, the safe. Yeah, okay. So in my room the whole time. The note, right? So Buddy comes to the prosecutor's office sometime between 12 and 1:30 looking for Portsman and with some files. He knocks on Portsman's door, but Portsman isn't there, so he leaves the note. What then? He steals the master key and tries to break into Edgeworth's room? But if he steals, okay, see, here's the thing, right? If someone stole the master key specifically to break into Edgeworth's room, they stole the master key at 1 a.m. At 1 a.m., Portsman was in the room. Which means, if he stole the key, Buddy would have walked in on Portsman in Edgeworth's room. The logical train of thought would be that then, you know, being discovered in the act of, like, trying to, like, steal some evidence or whatever, Portsman kills Buddy after Buddy confronts him. That would mean that the murder takes place sometime between 1 and 1:30. The problem with that is, after that, Portsman gets Maggie to lock the room up at 1:30, but then there's still a 1 hour time span between him, between the door getting locked up and the master key being returned. Now, Buddy's already dead by the time the master key is returned, which implies that Portsman takes the master key off his body and returns it. But if he did, why didn't he do it right as he was leaving? Why did he wait a full hour to do it? And what was he doing during that hour? He didn't return the key. I mean, yeah, obviously he didn't return the key. He didn't go to his office. We know that because if he had gone to his office, he would have picked up the note by the door. The only place is he would have had to have returned to Edgeworth's office with the master key to do something? I'm not sure how this lines up. Objection! That was a lie.
What are you talking about? How is that a lie?
This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman.
A note?
It was left under your door. Or did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you're out." You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing?
Ah!
Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room. The very room you had Miss Bird open for you.
Objection!
Oh, is this the pursuit theme? Oh, this slaps!
Oh, this is good. This is oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just nonsense! You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me.
Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence.
No way!
This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you.
Take that!
I had your door dusted for prints.
My door? What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. Sure good at wasting time.
Exactly. I didn't find anything, and that's the problem. You cleaned after yourself too well. There wasn't too much. There was the lack of evidence is what points to you being the culprit.
You're right. I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints.
Her prints? What do they have to do with anything?
Let's put it this way. She really was the one who opened your door. Then her prints should actually be on the doorknob she touched.
Ah!
Further, all the prints on my office door's knob had been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? You know you stole into my office with some intent of... We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him.
Yeah, and that's great, Edgeworth. But there's still things that don't line up. You know? Specifically, right, if that's just what happened, and then he left and that was that, perfect. But there's a 1 hour time gap. Yeah, but there's an hour of time that is completely unaccounted for. There's the fact that we ran into Portsman in the office, which means he returned to the scene of the crime later. There's the fact that there was a second gun in place somehow. And there's Buddy writing Gumshoe as his dying message. Like, there's still way too many unanswered questions right now.
And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office.
Or I guess maybe if I ran into if I ran into him. But yeah, no, he must have returned, right? Because if I run into him right after he commits the murder, first of all, where did he get the second gun that put a hole in my frame? And if he used that to escape, after he left the room, he had Maggie close up. Which means I would have seen him come back, and it doesn't make sense, right? That scene of him holding me up, if it was him, must have happened after Maggie locked up the room. It must have happened between 1:30 and 2:30. So why did he return to the scene of the crime with a different gun? Or did someone else? Or is someone else in play here that we haven't met yet? Hey, just what's so funny, pal? That look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world.
What?
Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all. He even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. As I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture.
You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down as well. Huh? They're a little obsessive compulsive, you know? Didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched. Which is why I wiped the knob as soon as I could after you opened the door.
Yeah, but what about when she cleaned the door?
After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and I's prints would be there.
No, because she locked up also. Not to mention, that still doesn't change the fact that when Jim tried to go to your office, you weren't there, hence why he left the note. That would be true if Portsman and the person at the office were the same. Yeah, which makes me think it might be a second person. But the problem is, I doubt they'll just introduce someone. And like, the only person that it could be is Buddy, but he should have been, but this happens after 1:30. We're assuming Buddy should already be dead, so it can't be him. Gumshoe? Why would Gumshoe hold Edgeworth at gunpoint? That makes no sense. And then it's Maggie, but I don't even know if she has a gun. Like, it doesn't make sense for anyone else to be at the scene of the crime other than Jacques, you know? And specifically the fact that whoever Plus, I have to assume, right? Buddy, I'm assuming, is the one who took the master key, maybe? Gumshoe really hates Edgeworth with salary counts. Like, okay, the only person here who I think could have stolen the key, well, okay, the way I see it is there's two possibilities. Buddy is the one that stole the key. For some reason, that reason is unknown, but he steals the key. Jacques kills him and notices that he has the key, so he takes the key with him. So then later, using the key, he circles back to unlock the door. Well, he doesn't need to unlock. The doors are not unlocked, but he comes back. Alternatively, it's entirely possible that the key was... No, but like, okay, see, here's the thing. The only person who would have come into this room would have been the person who had the master key. But now you say to yourself, but the door was unlocked. Maggie left the door unlocked, so technically anyone could walk into the room. Yes, right. Anyone could walk into this room, but only one person, well, only two people would. Maggie and the person who had the master key. Maggie, because she knew the door was unlocked, so she knew she could walk in. Or whoever had the master key, because even though they don't know that the door is unlocked, they have the master key, so they think they can just waltz right in, right? So that then begs the question, right? It's, you know, it seems to be common knowledge for everyone here that the locks in the prosecutor's rooms are not easily accessible, which means that it's not like some random person who didn't have the master key just decided, I'm gonna go break into Edgeworth's office and oh look, it's unlocked. Like, no, it doesn't make any goddamn sense, right? The person who stole the person who was in that room when we arrived was either Maggie, which doesn't make sense considering Edgeworth would have probably been able to tell if the voice was female, or someone or the person was holding onto the master key. Now, that leaves us with two possible assumptions. Assumption A, the master key was stolen by Buddy Faith, And then later, the killer took the key off of Faith's body, which then means the person who circled back around was the killer himself. Alternative 2, someone else outside of these four, we don't know who, maybe Payne, stole the key, and then later went into the room, found the murder scene, and then Edgeworth walks in. The second one seems a bit far-fetched, yes, but the only reason I'm considering it is because it would explain the second gun, right? Because assuming Portsman kills
Edgeworth responds to only one voice in the dark if you catch my train.
But yeah, the gun is... Yeah, so there's that. The gun, that would explain the gun, because right now, the gun doesn't make sense to me, because the gun is fired once to, kill, Buddy. Then later on, if it was the same, if the killer is the person who comes back in later, then the killer went ahead and got themselves a different gun for some reason, despite not really having any reason to have one. But if it was a different person who had their own gun, then it would make sense. I still wish we could check the rifling marks on the two bullets to see if they were fired from the same gun. But since someone's brought that up, I imagine that's not a possibility right now. And then the other big thing is the fact that as he was dying, Buddy Faith wrote Gumshoe's name for some fucking reason. What is going on here?
You're putting way too much thought for how little information we have so far.
Yes, but that's the fun of it. That's why I love this game. That's why I love the Ace Attorney series. I don't just want to be spoon-fed the answer. I want to try to figure it out early. Like the yeah, that's where the fun lies, you know? Even if I don't get it perfectly right.
Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, you know exactly when that was. For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like, early evening, for example.
Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway?
Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied at work-related matters. Although there's no excuse.
Hey, just flat out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size.
But you can't prove that, can ya?
Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir.
Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it.
Besides, I have an airtight alibi.
Airtight, you say?
I only realized that I had one just now when we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner.
Okay.
If memory serves, you came back to this office around 2 a.m., correct? It was then that you had the unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit.
Okay, so 2 a.m. So yeah, that makes sense.
But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi.
Do you really think that is perfect?
Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. I'll see for yourself.
Detective Gumshoe.
Hey, sir, yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back.
Hold on, I need to see if this checks out.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. Guys down in criminal affairs say they saw him around 2 a.m.
See?
All of the evidence points to him being the culprit. Which means the person I ran into when I came to the office was not him. Which, if we're following the logic trains I laid out earlier, means that the person who came into the office must be the person who stole the master key and then later returned it. If they were a police officer, they would carry a gun, and this would explain why as a police officer, this would explain why they they had a different gun. So then that explains the second gun. Question is, why did they go? What was their purpose in being there? And if they steal the key at 1, because okay, they steal the key at 1 a.m. But Portsman is in the room committing murder until 1:30, which means they waited half an hour before actually going into the room. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. I don't think so.
Memory serves. You came back to this office around 2 a.m., correct?
You're correct. It was around 2 a.m.
Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time.
I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2.
Ooh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2.
It was then that you had an unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. We don't know that it was the culprit. What was the most difficult case to figure out from all the Ace Attorney games you've played so far? It's been a while, so I'd have to, like, think about it, but, like, Rise from the Ashes was certainly the most complex. Bridge to the Turnabout stumped me, but that was less so because the case was hard, and more so because it had a couple of very glaring plot holes that I kept focusing on, and as a result, thought like there were some really big plot holes with Bridge to the Turnabout, and so I kept on thinking, okay, well, they're going down this avenue of thinking because of these reasons, but those reasons are obviously flawed, so that must be wrong. But turns out, no, the game was just being stupid, and it was correct. Outside of that, I'm not entirely sure.
Yes, however, you're the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, do you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw?
It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you?
I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here.
Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
Exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. So, I paid the criminal affairs department a visit.
Yep. Right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
Okay, that was short. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony.
It's just as I said, right?
Yes, sir. And a number of detectives say they saw you around that time.
See, I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve.
Ugh. Impossible. He actually does have a perfect alibi.
What's wrong? Why the sudden look on your face? I can't just say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth. I think I reached the end of the line. It's time to get off this crazy train. You there?
Sir!
Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle.
Hey, Maggie! Detective Gumshoe!
Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that could cast doubt on his alibi? I need to calmly think this one more time, and with logic.
Smith's alibi. Yeah, the second handgun. Okay.
There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life. And one that nearly robbed me of my jacket! However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight.
Okay, so we are going down this route. Then that, again, also explains why the files are rummaged through twice.
Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit. Who was the owner of the second gun? If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back. Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case.
Great, so you finally come to your senses.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Sir, what are you saying?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case.
What do you mean?
The person I ran into was just your average thief.
Thief? Yeah, but sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in effects?
Not at all. It simply means the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight.
And what do you mean, 2?
It explains both why my shelves are disturbed twice, and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know?
So then this definitely explains some more stuff, especially, you know, who... The second thief is probably the person who robbed the... stole the master key. I think the only thing we need to clear up, besides the identity of the thief, is... Why did Buddy write Gumshoe's name?
If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you shouldn't have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this will be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then just when he was about to look somewhere else. Who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
Yeah, boy, Mr. Faith coming to the room, sir.
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be the guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? And you must have thought it was odd, so we came to the office to check it out.
Correct. And as detective, that was the right thing to do.
Gatto could never solve a case like this.
But then he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance, stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then... he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing.
Oh, he's sweating.
This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind.
Okay, we're assuming that the dying message was just forged then. He's such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved, however. There's yet another visitor in my room, and this is where it gets complicated.
There was another.
A visitor, sir?
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so... they stole the master key from the security guard's room.
Exactly.
And then entered my room and searched through my shelves. That was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
A stolen the stolen zero file, right, sir?
Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during the brief encounter.
So shelves getting messed up twice and 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing these things 2 different times.
Stop picking on the crippled man.
Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and not in fact Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
And what's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
Yeah, of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which was withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with it, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. The person you met really was just a plain old thief. And why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. The thief you ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say? You should be out there looking for the thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was dead at criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
So you think we should be out there looking for the thief?
Of course! Now's not the time to wasting time on dead-end discussions.
I don't think it's all that dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we?
Ugh.
I know he's lying. I know he was there at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Okay.
It had to be a different person because... Yeah, we know for a fact it was a different person because of the guns, right? And because of the files. If the thief was the killer, right? If the thief and the killer were one and the same, or the second thief and the killer. Need to go for now? Yeah, thanks for being here, Firewall. It's been great. Like, okay, so if the first... So if the killer and the thief and the second thief are the same, then that doesn't... Why would the thief rummage through the files twice? And if the thief... We know that the thief has a gun, right? So then why would the thief steal... why would the thief steal... What's his face? Why would the thief steal... Buddy's gun and kill him with it? Why wouldn't the thief just use their own gun if they owned one? It doesn't make sense. The thief and the killer cannot be the same person. It just does not line up. But I need to go to the bathroom, so we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. Let's continue.
Thief you ran into would be a real suspect, wouldn't you say?
Actually, no, I wouldn't.
Why not?
That's elementary. A dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. It was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them.
Hey, you mean the zero files, right?
And that's how we also know the letters themselves were set up and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief is the killer, you think they would try to undermine themselves.
Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either? Yeah, that must be it. Maybe.
One escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger. Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby.
You never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after.
Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief.
It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything after all.
10 years ago, old case from years ago sounds, very, very familiar. I wonder if we'll, I wonder if we won't actually find the thief today. I wonder if this will just be we'll solve this murder, but the thief that stole those files will remain a mystery, and that will then be the big overarching story for this game, right? If this game has a big overarching story like the previous two Ace Attorney games did. Interesting. Painting in my room.
But according to Mr. Faith's note...
Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left the note for me in the early evening? You have proof that he left it at different times, say, just before he was murdered?
I don't have any, no.
You see, so I insist again that I was in my office for the entire time. Jim came to deliver the evidence to me. I was down at Criminal Affairs.
Why don't you go there with Mr. Faith?
It's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know, the sofas in the hallway. He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits.
And what of the evidence he brought?
Things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. A gun and a pendant.
Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. A gun and a pendant.
Yeah, his gun, which was the murder weapon. And this pendant, which belonged to the victim.
And why were you taking them to Criminal Affairs?
Something in the past case file I wanted to compare these two to. But all this had nothing to do with the case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail left be to your satisfaction.
This is all matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out. Oh, I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. I can't expect you to know, can I?
No, but I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions.
Oh, then let's see what you deduce.
Jim waited for me to leave and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And that's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed. And the murder occurred. It's all exactly as I laid out earlier.
I know he's lying.
Yeah, a gun and dependent.
I think we found our. I think we found our second gun, right? So Jim goes down to criminal affairs, gives the gun. To Portsman. How did that gun end up in the hands of the killer, though? Or in the hands of the thief, then? Garnish was the murder weapon, pen which belonged to the victim. Nothing in the past case, how I want to compare these two. Nothing to do with the current case right now. It has to be here, right? Victim's revolver. Yeah, the note said 3, right? Yeah, 3 pieces of evidence.
Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail.
Excuse me?
You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you.
Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully.
Ah, it says Mr. Faithless bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman.
I can't believe it. You get tripped up by simple arithmetic.
Where is the missing piece of evidence?
It's...
You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe. You know,
You won't have to say it, sir. I'll bet the guy down from head to toe.
Don't come any closer. I'm warning you.
It's all part of the investigation, pal! Don't even think about stopping me.
No! Hey, what's this?
Get it on him, sir.
despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
And why would he act something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this count. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Yeah! Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin.
KG8 incident. Ah, because there's blood on it.
God, the KG8 incident. That's a police case.
It's a police case number, sir. Does this mean this video is evidence for that case?
Interesting. Never. What's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once-over.
Oh, there's a... This thing recorded something alright. Just not in its tape. It's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us.
I am a prosecutor. I am a prosecutor. I am a prosecutor. I am a prosecutor. Mr. Edgeworth, I am a prosecutor.
The blood is still fresh.
Yeah, you mean this is Detective Faith's blood? No! No, you've got it all wrong.
And no amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you'll tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video.
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have his videotape on his personage when you killed him?
You know very well there's no way to prove that.
Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints?
Gah!
If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith.
No! Impossible! I... And Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
Very good.
And the result we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. And blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as bonus, they were able to lift a few Faith's fingerprints as well.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in this murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
Oh, it was nothing, really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from the goodness of misfortune to just unlucky person.
Something tells me you should have hired a different person for security detail.
And you know something, sir? The Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard there was a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. As even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses was forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh?
I say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
You never did get around to asking for his reason, what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah, well, whenever we got near the topic, he just claimed up.
Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
It's just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly leads credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Oh, and Mr. Portsman is the bad guy?
I didn't say that. But rather, there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence. The hoop. The safe? Or the missing file?
Take that!
And sir, I don't think there's any mystery left to that piece.
You might be right there.
I think you solved the case already, Mr. Edgeworth. Anything left that we still don't know about is maybe this.
Yes, the Zero Series file. Well done, Detective. The significance of which we have yet to fully comprehend. The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me at gunpoint?
That's Edgeworth, sir.
Yes,
I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir.
this card.
And what is it, sir? Is it a bird or something?
It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, Detective.
Oh, it's about the thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about?
Yes, it's the mark of the great thief, Yatagarasu.
Well, what is going on here? He thinks he's masked a mask. He thinks he's him.
Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to an end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu lets the find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. A theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Just sounds like the Phantom Thieves. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is set forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to mass media, along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files.
So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu, organization. Got a few key words popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago.
Okay! The first chapter out of the way, and heard about airlines. Okay. Yeah, this was no, we're not gonna start yet. Yeah. Okay. That was a pretty decent first case. I really like the new mechanics and stuff and the new gameplay loop that they've made. It's really nice. As for the actual case itself, I think it's pretty good actually. Like the actual I mean, some parts are better, some parts are others. What I really like is it's doing a good job of setting up what's going to be the sort of central storyline for this game going forward, right? Which is going to be, you know, related to this Yatagarasu. So I'll be very interested to see how that actually plays out. But yeah, I've got nothing else to say. That was a good case. That's I'm really enjoying the changes they've made for this game. I think it's close enough to still retain the Ace Attorney formula, but it's different enough to feel fresh and unique at the same time, and I really like that. So yeah, that being said, we'll be doing Persona 5 next. I don't know when we'll be continuing this game, because yeah, we'll have to see, but we'll be continuing this game sometime soon. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what the future holds, because it seems like there's gonna be some interesting stuff. But actually, before we go, let's do this. Oh, and he's colored now. Cool. And that looks like Franziska von Karma, if I've ever seen her. Yeah, so what we like to do here is if we finish a case and we're gonna end, we are gonna end the episode here. We're gonna just watch the intro cutscene of the next case to just sort of get a nice little teaser, you know? So let's see how this okay, the office.
The murder that occurred in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Thinking back, everything began on that fateful day 2 years ago.
Two days earlier. Okay, so we're actually going back. The fuck? Oh, just wine. The fuck? Oh, this is a nice theme.
Everything began high up in the air, 9,000 feet in the air to be precise. Thank you for flying iFly Airlines. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts.
A murder on an airplane? Oh, now this is gonna be good. Oh, I am very excited for this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because this is a closed environment where, like, only, like, the passengers and so on could actually be the killers. Like some Danganronpa shit. Let's go. Okay, I'm very excited for this next case. But yeah, with that said, we are gonna leave it off here. There we go. Yeah, this has been Miles Edgeworth Investigations. Man, I'm loving this game. I really am. The that first case was, I think, a really good start. Yeah, and I really like the new all the new mechanics that they've introduced and the ways they've changed up the gameplay. So yeah, with that said, we'll be continuing this game sometime later. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and join our Discord down in the description. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say. See you all next time.